every great adventure starts with one impossible question. What if the map was real? Picture this. It is October 31st. The sun has already surrendered to the dark. Pumpkins glow from every porch. The smell of caramel and cold air hangs in the neighborhood like a warning. 5 kids in costumes are standing under a streetlight, bags half full of candy, completely convinced that tonight could not possibly get any more exciting. And then a map appears. Not printed, not digital. Hand-drawn on what looks like ancient parchment, with ink that shimmers faintly gold under the lamplight. No return address, no signature, just 3 locations circled in deep red, and at the top, in jagged letters, the treasure belongs to those bold enough to find it. Now here's the thing. Most people, most sensible, reasonable, candy-hoarding people would fold that map up, toss it in their treat bag, and go home to sort their Snickers from their candy corn. But these kids are different. And that single, ridiculous decision to follow the map instead of walking away is exactly why tonight becomes the greatest Halloween any of them will ever know. So buckle up, because we are breaking down this adventure stop by stop, 3 locations, 3 clues, 3 heart-stopping scares, and 1 mind-blowing treasure waiting at the very top of the world. This is the Halloween Night Map Adventure, and it starts right now. Stop number 1, the Spooky Woods. The first circle on the map points to the tree line at the edge of town, where the streetlights stop and the shadows take over. You know the woods. Every town has them. The ones where the branches reach like fingers, where the leaves sound like whispers, and where absolutely nobody goes after dark unless they are either very brave or very foolish. Tonight, our crew is both. Halloween's deepest roots trace back to the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, celebrated over 2,000 years ago, when people believed the gap between our world and the world of the beyond was blurred, and standing at the edge of those woods on October 31st, that ancient belief suddenly feels very, very reasonable. The map leads them down a narrow trail, mud underfoot, fog curling around their ankles like something alive, branches snapping somewhere off to the left, and then to the right, and then directly behind them. The group clusters together, flashlights cutting pale beams through the dark. And then they find it. Nailed to the oldest oak tree in the forest, a wooden box. Inside the box, clue number 1, and something else entirely. A carved mask stares back at them with hollow eyes. The moment the first kid reaches for the clue, a screech owl explodes from the branches above with a sound that could wake the entire neighborhood. Everyone scatters. One kid drops the flashlight, another trips over a root. Somehow, miraculously, they all end up back together, clue in hand, hearts hammering like drums. They are terrified. They are laughing. They absolutely do not want to stop. Clue number 1 decoded, the map points onward, to the castle. Now here is where things get seriously interesting. Has your heart ever told you to run in the exact opposite direction, but your feet just kept walking forward anyway? Drop your answer in the comments below, because that is exactly the kind of courage these kids are tapping into right now. Stop number 2, the ancient castle. Every region has one. That old stone structure on the hill that adults drive past without a second glance, but the kids have always known holds something extraordinary. Ancient castles, narrow cobbled streets, and mysterious landmarks echo with legends of restless spirits and dark deeds. And haunted places don't just offer scares, they pull visitors into centuries-old stories that still haunt the air. Step into the shadowy realm of old stone walls, where castles stand as stoic witnesses to a turbulent past, guarding ancient tales of tragedy, betrayal, and the supernatural. The kids push open the iron gate, which swings with a groan so perfectly dramatic it almost feels staged, and step into the courtyard. The castle is massive up close. Every window is dark. Ivy crawls up the walls like it is trying to pull the stones apart. The map directs them to the east tower, up a spiral staircase where each step announces itself with a creak loud enough to echo. Legends abound of spectral knights who roam the corridors, their ghostly forms evoking the violent past that haunts these halls. And right now, with shadows dancing on the stone walls and the wind moaning through broken window frames, those legends feel like something more than stories. They reach a great hall. Dusty banners hang from the rafters. A long table stretches the length of the room, covered in cobwebs so thick they look like tablecloths. And at the far end, sitting on a stone throne, a suit of armor. The kids cross the room, eyes locked on the armor, breathing shallow. One of them reaches for the clue tucked inside the helmet, and the armor raises one gauntleted hand. The scream that follows echoes off every stone in that castle. 3 kids bolt for the door. 2 freeze completely. The armor slowly removes its helmet, revealing a laughing old caretaker who has been playing this trick on curious adventurers for years. He hands them the second clue with a wink, points them toward the mountains, and tells them they are closer than they think. The kids sprint back into the night, breathless and buzzing. The castle scare was funny in hindsight, terrifying in the moment, and absolutely perfect, because the best kind of scare is the one that makes you feel alive. Clue number 2 decoded. The final destination is the Misty Mountains, and the map says they need to reach the peak before midnight. Stop number 3, the Misty Mountains. The trail begins at the base of a ridge that seems to grow taller the closer they get to it. Mist pours down the slopes like water, swallowing the path a few feet ahead of each step. Ancient tradition held that on Halloween night, the souls of the dead returned home, and to confuse any harmful spirits, people wore disguises and lit bonfires for protection. Up here, above the fog line, it is easy to believe every single word of that. The climb is steep, legs burn, breath comes in clouds. The map somehow still glows faintly gold even in the darkest sections of the trail. Every few minutes, one of the kids stops, looks back at the town below, tiny lit windows, distant laughter, the whole world looking small and safe from up here, and then turns back to the mountain and keeps going. Halfway up, the third scare arrives without warning. A figure steps out of the mist directly in front of them, tall, cloaked, completely motionless. Nobody breathes. Then the figure reaches into its cloak and produces a lantern, and in the lantern's warm glow, they see a face that is smiling. An old woman, weathered and warm, who has lived on this mountain her whole life and who has been waiting for exactly this group of kids on exactly this night. She speaks one sentence. "You have already solved it. You just need to look." And then she is gone, back into the mist, as if she was never there. The group stares at each other. What did she mean? They have the clues, they have the map, they have been following every instruction perfectly. They scramble to lay out both clues side by side, and suddenly they see it. The 2 clues together form a single image, a symbol, the same symbol carved into the flat rock at the very summit, visible now as they crest the peak, bathed in moonlight so bright it feels like a spotlight. They press the symbol. The rock shifts. Beneath it, sealed in a weathered chest, is the treasure. Not gold, not jewels. Something better. A collection of handwritten letters, one for each of them, sealed with wax and addressed by name. Each letter is a story about the person who wrote the map, an explorer who made this same journey decades ago and left the treasure for the next generation of brave enough kids to find it. Tucked into each letter is a small compass engraved with the words, "The adventure is never over." Many of the best Halloween experiences are based on spooky origins, but the best Halloween adventures are based on something even older than that. Courage, curiosity, the stubborn, ridiculous, beautiful decision to follow the map instead of going home. 5 kids stood under a streetlight at the start of this night, bags half full of candy, thinking nothing could make the evening more exciting. They were so wrong. They walked into dark woods and laughed at their own fear. They crossed a haunted castle and learned that the scariest things are rarely what they seem. They climbed a mountain wrapped in mist and found something at the top that no amount of candy could ever match. Proof that they were exactly the kind of people the map was meant for. The nights are getting darker and there is a chill in the air. And somewhere out there, on Halloween night, another map is waiting to be found. The only question is whether you are brave enough to follow it. If this adventure had your heart racing, you know what to do. Smash that like button, subscribe so you never miss the next story we bring to life, and share this with the bravest kid you know. Because the best adventures always start with someone choosing to take the first step into the dark. See you at the next one.